Hello, and welcome to Nale Yoga, the podcast with Yoga Nidra journeys for deep rest and more. I'm Ruthie Eisenberg, and today I'm so excited to welcome a very special guest. Anastasia Ribas is a certified somatic coach, a yoga therapist, and an embodiment educator with over 10 years in the well-being field. Her work bridges nervous system science with trauma-informed practices and embodied psychology to help people move from survival patterns to regulation, agency, and meaningful connection. She specializes in nervous system regulation, trauma-informed somatic coaching, and mindful movement for stress, shutdown, and the fawn response. Through online mentorships, retreats, and group programs, she supports individuals to slow down, reconnect with their bodies, and reclaim presence in their everyday lives. And in today's conversation, you're in for a real treat because this conversation really fits in with the heart of this podcast. It's about deep rest, listening inward, and about learning how to be with ourselves more gently and to slow down in a world that's constantly asking us to speed up. So, a lot of what we'll be talking about today is for anyone who feels stuck in stress or survival mode. If you notice patterns like shutting down, people pleasing, or just feeling disconnected, then this conversation is for you. So, I'm glad that you're here, and let's get started. Welcome to the show, Anastacia.
Hi, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm so happy to have you on. And why don't we start off with you sharing about your story and how did you get interested in somatic healing?
Sure. I think it's a little bit a familiar story for many of us that are in this field of work. I used to struggle a little bit with my health, and I start exploring a little bit more the holistic ways of healing what I have, which is endometriosis, which is chronic pain, and it causes a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort. And then I start doing. I did my first yoga certification, the 200 hours, and it was a game changer for me. And then I really start becoming more and more interested about the body work, how specifically for me, how slowing down allowed me to learn concepts from my body instead of cognitively learning concepts of healing. And so I started exploring a little bit more the somatic work. I did a training with a somatic movement, which is founded by Feldenkrais Moshe. And it's all about slowness and practicing interoception, our ability to feel sensation within. And then I start understanding that was very healing for me, but also I think for the folks that I work with, learning and guiding them as well to slow down, to cultivate that interoception. And so as we spoke about before, I think also in the yoga world, what I was more interested in, I'm always more and more interested in, is also the embodied part, how we can embody our yoga practice. So that led me to explore the slower concepts of yoga, such as yoga nidra, as you are very familiar with, yin yoga. So I start basically blending the somatic therapy, the somatic movement with this more quiet practices of yoga. And that led me also to do a coaching certification related with that. So I work basically with folks that not only are searching to heal their bodies, so through the somatic therapy, but also if they want to implement changes in their lives and they feel stuck, a lot of the times it's because the body has all the answers. And so when I guide clients to slow down and to find more clarity through bottom-up practices, they can find answers and make decisions from a place of clarity.
Yeah, that sounds like you came to this from an amazing journey and such meaningful work that you're doing with your clients, helping them get past that cognitive layer of the brain and into a more deeper regions of the brain and more embodied kind of healing.
Yes.
Yes, yes. When you say the body has the answers, what do you mean? What does that mean to you?
Right. So one of the things that I after a couple of certifications and working with folks and working with myself, one of the things that I start also discovering and also learning and I start doing some courses related with that is how the overwhelm responses, the trauma is held in the body. And so when we tap into our bodies, we can release those overwhelming responses. We can bring ourselves back to the present moment. So yeah, so I did a certification also, yoga for trauma and creating safer spaces, which is also trauma aware framework to facilitate not only movement, body work classes, but also the coaching work. And it all starts in the body. It all starts by releasing any emotional load we have in the body, so we can heal and we can be present here in the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, that's beautiful. And do you have like an example just so that people can understand um how do emotions get released? How does this healing happen? How does this clarity of following the body's lead and getting getting clarity and getting the answers, how does that happen? Can you walk me through like maybe a situation where it's happened for you or for one of your clients?
Sure. Well, our bodies are like a vessel, right? We carry the history of our entire lives in our bodies. And when we learn to, I think the very simple way to reply to that is it's cultivating presence, right? This is the way at least the way I was taught to work with and cope with stress, overwhelming responses, chronic pain as well, like
Mhm.
the one that I carry. Uh, a lot of the times is by reconnecting with the body, not with the past, not with the future, but really being here. And there's a lot of things we can do to find ease in our bodies to release, right? There's in terms of body work, we can do the shaking, which is one of the ways we can release. It really depends if the person is in pain or if it's in a fight or flight response or a freeze or fawn response as well. uh, we can just be be there, be present, and do gentle touch with the use of hands, the use of bolsters. We use a lot that in restorative yoga. So
Mhm.
anything that basically brings release in the body, at least my personal experience is that, and also that can be done by shaking, can be done by moving gently, by bringing a little bit more fluidity to our tissues as well.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of movements with the spine as well, because the spine is our first it's our first structure we have when we are in our mother's womb. And so it has a huge influence in our entire body. And so when we move the spine, we usually feel an overall sense of well-being. So this is one of the approaches, but also a sense of feeling held. So I use a lot the gentle touch. It's a technique of giving a sense of feeling supported or feeling held in the body. And that just brings you back to presence, to the here and now, not to the your past or the painful experience you're experiencing. You can be in relationship to that, because the pain we hold in our bodies, now I'm specifically talking about chronic pain, right? I like to see it as information, right? Not that we should bypass it, like it's all
Right.
fine. Just going to, obviously it's important we find ways to deal with that, and specifically with endometriosis, it's really important that sometimes seeking for medical support, but the physiological, the slowness, the being in relationship with that pain, with that sensation, is the healing part. Don't know
Yes,
if
I love
that was clear. Yeah.
Yeah, I love what you're saying about that, and just getting back into presence with your body, not getting, not ruminating about the past, the depression, not
Yeah.
imagining and catastrophizing about the future, that's anxiety, but being right here in the present. And that is sometimes it's so simple, and also it's sometimes the hardest thing to do, to just get back to the present moment. Um, I struggled with presence for many years, and it's still a work in progress. Um, and
Yeah.
I have a lot of clients also who really are so good with the cognitive, and just really are afraid or really struggle with getting in tune with their body, paying attention to the subtle cues. And I'm wondering, how do you help people bridge that gap between
Mhm.
being where they're comfortable, like in the mind, to actually attuning and getting more present in the body, which can be a scary thing for some people sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very much. Very scary. Very.
yeah,
Um, I think it's all about guiding people to slow down. Although some people, they feel, like you said, it's scary.
yeah,
But that's the medicine. It's in the slowness. And I'm going to share here that in the coaching world, a lot of the times what happens is people get super ashamed or frustrated. They reach to to the sessions like, I need to achieve this, or I want to. And sometimes it's like, no, you already, let's practice first slowing down and being here and notice what's there already, right?
mhm,
Sometimes we think we need to make big shifts in our lives. We need to, and when we come back to slowness, when we come back to the here and now, and it's really a physiological thing we need to do with clients. This is how I do it. Is sometimes I just ask them to. We are like half an hour in a session, just literally with hands on the body, breathing, orienting, another technique, and that allows the person on the other side to drop from the head to the body, um, and to be in relationship. And this is where everything happens, where compassion happens as well. Oh, I'm feeling this. This is really uncomfortable. What I'm feeling right now. What is this saying about my state of being, or what is this saying about the relationship of that I have with everything in my life, with myself? So it's really about guiding them to slow down. And this is where you find all the answers.
And the slowing down. Yes, I really like that. You said the medicine is in the slowing down, and I couldn't agree more. And that's like the thing that's very, very challenging in a high speed kind of world.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah. One of the benefits of Yoga Nidra is that it helps you, it guides you to slow down in a way that's gentle and safe at your own pace. Um, but it is a challenge for sure.
It's amazing. Yoga Nidra, I think I was just listening the other day, one of my favorite teachers of Yoga Nidra, and he was saying rest nowadays is seen as unproductive, and
Yeah.
people feel guilt of resting, of just laying down and do nothing. And if people knew um how much productive they can be and effective by just resting for half an hour and just doing half an hour of yoga nidra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an investment in your body, in your health, in your mind, and everything. But I used to be one of those people who thought that yoga nidra and resting was really unproductive and boring.
Yeah.
And I don't have time for this. I'm so busy. But this is, when we talk about what does productive even mean, and what is more productive, sending another email or doing, more housework, or is it taking care of yourself and resting for half an hour or even 20 minutes, and then returning in a more present, in a more calm, in a more balanced kind of state to the rest of your activities. Like, what is more productive?
So important to know that and to make that discernment,
Yeah.
and also for your health. I mean, rest is how the body finds homeostasis, right? Is how everything recalibrates. I was just reading the other day as well about because I am 41, so I was reading about how the cortisol levels spike with a lot of high intensity, workouts, like high intensity workouts. So it's actually very beneficial for women after 40 to rest and to pause and to, like, in terms of physiologically the
Mhm.
just balancing the hormonal levels as well.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is why yoga, it's such a wise practice. Like we have this resting posture, the shavasana at the end of every practice. And such a good reason for that. It creates this counterbalance. We work really hard during the practice, and then we can rest. So it creates this really nice balance, that it's healthy when it's mirrored in everyday life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How we, you mean like how we can also bring these practices? Sometimes we don't need half an hour. We can have just 5 minute break, right? Just
Yeah.
pausing, and that's so important. That's so
Yeah.
important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Having not having a balance
Yeah.
between activity and the being, so that it's not too lopsided.
Yeah.
Uh, Yeah. Yeah, because if we're only in doing mode and only in productive, then this is how the stress accumulates, and there's no, when does the system get cleared? When do you get to have that counterbalance of rest? You need to experience a balance of both states. And I'm wondering for you, if you could share, can you share a little bit about like what practices do you do that you find helpful for you?
Sure. I'm an entrepreneur, and so I know how it feels to wear multiple hats and being constantly on. It's the truth. And I mean, there's always things to do, right? And I'm also a mom. And so what I do is two things that are very helpful. Uh, I usually work 30 minutes on a task, and I take 5 minutes break. super helpful for me for focus and also to set priorities, right? Because it's really important. And so in those 5 minutes of break, I really like to, sometimes I do shaking. Sometimes I do gentle touch. It really depends on how I feel. Like if I feel, um, I'm in that mode of constantly on and I'm beating myself basically because it is what it is when you're doing everything and it's exhausting sometimes. So I need to pause, 5 minutes break, gentle touch, breath work. So I do this. This is really helpful. So I have like an hourly timer and I just flipped it, 30 minutes working, and then this is really a game changer. Um, I also really like to set priorities like first thing in the morning before I start working. Um, and I really like the productivity planner for that. So this is something I will probably share with you.
Yeah.
But it's nice to just set priorities. Um, 30 minutes and then tapping or shaking. And I always do that also before sessions with clients. I think that's so important to, the energy we carry as well when we show up. The way to extend regulation for others is when we also feel regulated. So I always do like 10, 15 minutes of breathing or yoga nidra or something to help me to stay grounded so then I can be fully present for clients. Because the truth is this, we need to walk our talk, right?
Yes.
We need to the what we are teaching or guiding others. I think we are there because we need it at a certain point in our lives. Like you said, you had that experience yourself as well, right? Being constantly on, or there's always something that guides us to be there, to be here, right where we are right now, and wanting to do this work. And so I think it's very interesting when we can also find, okay, like what are the practices that really serves us, and so we can extend that to others as well. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And especially as women, if we don't have those boundaries, the world will eat away at every minute of your 24 hours. So,
right.
so we have to claim and prioritize like this time is non-negotiable, and this is the self-care time.
Yeah.
And and then the world can have the rest of it. But if we don't claim that time, then it will be zero.
Oh yeah, totally. Especially and when you have kids as well, and there's so much to balance, to do, to attend to, right? To that it's really important to, this is where priorities are really important, to know first thing, okay, what are my priorities, and with all the fears in the world, set the priorities and say, this is my time, like you said, prioritize that. um but then in terms, like physiologically speaking, the way we can cultivate all the things that are so much needed also for women. This is very important, because women, we tend to be, um, since we are little, we tend to be more competitive, we tend to be more harsh with ourselves as well. So the compassion, the self-compassion is so important for anyone out there, entrepreneurs, even if you work for someone else. I always hear this conversation like from women. I work a lot also with women that, oh, I'm working so much, I was not able to be with my kids, or I was whatever. Like we are so harsh with ourselves. So it's so important to, again, slow down, right? The thing of like slowing down, having that nourish, whatever, yoga nidra, gentle touch, anything that physiologically helps your body to come back to regulation. And then just saying, eh, it's okay. It's okay to, not be perfect. It's okay to not feel good today, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. For people who might not know what gentle touch is, can
Hmm.
you share a little bit like what is gentle touch, and maybe if listeners can even experience some of that right now on themselves?
Sure. So I know gentle touch through Dr. Stephen Terrell. Um, and well, let's say it's also a somatic practice, because what we do is we use our hands, and we can offer comfort in certain parts of the body that feel welcome to that, right? So nothing is forced, it's just a matter of exploring. So I'm just going to give here two options that I really like to use with clients, also online. The butterfly hug, which is crossing the arms in front of us, and just bringing the palms on top of the shoulders. And sometimes we can also tap if that feels good, to just bring more awareness. The tapping just brings more awareness into the body, and then just holding the position. So this is a protection position, and at the same time we are offering comfort. This is enough if we do 3 to 5 minutes of this gentle touch. Another one that I really like is the right hand or the left, depending if you're right-hander, is at the base of your skull, where you have the brain stem, right, responsible for high activation when we are high alert. So we just hold here, this part of the body, lower part of the head at the base of the skull. I really like here as well to place the hand here. And the other one, you can not see it, but it just here at the base of the spine, where the adrenal glands are. So just below the ribs, the low ribs. So these are where we have the adrenal glands, also responsible for the production of cortisol and adrenaline, right? So offering comfort here to these two parts of the body, it's super healing. Just sometimes just for 5 minutes. And another thing I sometimes do myself before sessions to feel more supported, also with gentle touch, is in the adrenal glands in the lower back. I just place a folded blanket here
Mhm.
uh, that helps to feel that support on the
Yeah.
lower back, right? So you feel that support, and it's not only I'm repeating a lot the word support, but not only makes you feel supported, but what comes from that support is more empowerment, right? You feel more yourself, more the serotonin levels rise, the cortisol drops. Um, I see this in clients, even the voice changes because they feel that physiological support. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I was doing these exercises together with you just now, and I feel very like they really feel very supportive. Uh, I don't have a better word for it, but they feel very very safe, very held, very containing. Um yeah,
Yeah.
this feels like, like a energetic recharging. So right now, like, I'm going back to the holding the base of the skull. It's so
Hmm.
nice because like my head is not doing any work. It's not supporting itself. It can just relax because it's being supported by my hand. And I feel a very subtle but real physiological difference.
Hmm.
I just love these exercises because they're so simple, they're so easy. Anybody can do them. You don't need special equipment. You don't need a lot of time. You just need your hands, and that's it. And you can do them anywhere.
Exactly. And it's very surprisingly effective online as well. If you have clients in person, obviously we can also do in person, but
Yeah.
online it works really well, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And yeah, exactly. Because in person you can also do different therapeutic touch um towards the client in a therapeutic kind of way. But in life, a lot of times you're not with your therapist or your coach, and a lot of times, like it is just us on our own. So having these techniques, even though it's online, I think it's actually better in a way because you're teaching people how to support themselves without needing somebody else to provide that.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's flexible for people
Yeah.
that I think we mentioned this um, in our last conversation. I mean, nowadays life is very hectic. We want to. That's another thing. We want to find ways for people to practice, to be consistent in
Mhm.
in the way they get that support. And
Yeah.
so online, it's really beneficial for that. People that have kids that don't want to drive to the city, or sometimes you practice a session that it's really therapeutic, and then you have to drive half an hour back home, which it's not the best. So it's good, and yeah, like you said, it's also important. It's important to have co-regulation. I think, like having someone there.
Yeah.
But it's important to know, like you said, how can I offer support to myself right now, right? How can I feel supported, at peace, or at least for 5 minutes, to break the cortisol, to break down, right, the adrenaline and everything. Yeah.
Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly. So one other thing I'm wondering is when you're doing the somatic work, um, some clients are very sensitive. They've been through a lot, so their nervous systems are more sensitive and require a more gentle kind of approach. So, like I know some clients, they have a very hard time, for example, with meditation or with even closing the eyes. And some clients prefer not to be touched, and that's completely fine.
Yep.
Mm. I'm curious, for how do you support clients to ensure that you're staying within their window of tolerance
Hmm.
and that what we're doing with the somatic work, that it's not too triggering for them, but also not too easy, not too, we want to have a little bit of challenge, but not so much that it exceeds their window of tolerance. And I'm curious, how do you navigate that?
Right. So this is where I feel I learned a lot with the Creating Safer Space course, because it's a course that guides, that teaches well-being facilitators like us how to implement this practice in a let's say, in a safe way. And so as a body worker, we are very used to read others' bodies, right? So I really like to do in the work one-on-one. I'm going to address specifically the work one-on-one. I always have a session to learn about the person before everything, the history and everything. So I know already, and I have the capacity also to read their signs, their somatic, right? What it says. I offer always a pathway of a roadmap. Sorry, I offer always a roadmap about what we are going to practice, what are the things we are going to do, options. Everything is a choice. So if they don't feel comfortable, they can always, not do the practice, not receive the touch. So it's very important. Usually, when people have some kind of overwhelming response, trauma in their bodies, they can be, in suspectful, or afraid sometimes of saying no.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are afraid, feel shy of saying no, and it can be also a trauma response. So it's very important we are very clear from the beginning. It's a choice. to be there present for them and notice their somatic responses, if they are contracting, if they are, opening a little bit more the body. And always offer choice. I always offer choice. If it's a group container, that's different, right? A group, I don't work with more than 12 people in a row. Like, I like small groups, so I can also read everyone and be there with everyone, and notice, uh, discomfort in the body, or it's a matter of, for us, the facilitators, to be really attentive, not with like we are walking over eggshells, let's say, because that's also not good. But it's important to read the audience and to know them, and then offer choice. Always offer choice, options as well. um yeah that's
Empowering.
yeah
Yeah, it's so empowering that you're always offering them choice, especially people who may not have felt like they have a lot of choices. Uh,
exactly.
to have that offered in a session is very empowering. Um, I'm also, what you're also saying about reading the body. You have to read these subtle, very subtle cues sometimes from the body, and
Yep.
follow that to create these shifts. And and yeah, and I'm just wondering a little bit. I don't know if you had anything more to say about reading those cues, and
hmm
how those cues helps guide the clients to creating the shifts.
Sure. So I'm going to give you one example. When I see this happens quite often in the sessions, in the beginning, especially, uh, people, when they feel that, when they are coming like in a rush and stress, they tend to lean forward a lot. So they are like this, tense eyes as well. So, when you are relaxed, and also the body language, how, if you do the body, how your emotions, right, respond to the body. So when we lean back, when our head, instead of being forward, is a little bit tilting to the back, you feel way more open and less in alert mode, right? When you're leaning forward, you're really like attentive, and you're
Yeah,
sometimes you can be high alert, and also the eyes, right? But
yeah,
then when you lean a little bit back, so what I do when I see a client like this, I tend to, without addressing, obviously, directly, but inviting them to lean a little bit back with their bodies, to drop the shoulders, invite them to notice how it feels. And it's all about questioning instead of direct orders, is questioning, like, notice how it feels if you lean back, and notice how it feels to drop your shoulders. And then they immediately start to regulate, right? And notice where do you feel the expansions and the retractions when you breathe in your body. So, and automatically I see their physiology changing, the way they are gazing. So yeah, I think this is one example I see.
uh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
It's a great example, and I love how you're prompting them to just notice. And you're not telling them to slow down, you're not telling them to make any changes, but just by noticing and bringing awareness, it already prompts the system to self-organize and kind of self-realign, recalibrate.
totally. Yeah, the
Yeah,
language is a big thing.
yeah,
Language, yeah.
yeah, yeah. What are you saying about language?
No, it's just one thing that I was I was really amazed of the difference, the impact it has. Not only when you work with like students, right, in a yoga class, but also in the coaching, when you instead of directing, when you ask questions, like, imagine in the yoga class, you're saying, notice how it feels when you drop the shoulders. You're inviting them to discover, rather than being authoritative, which can be very intimidating sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's a big difference, the language, asking questions instead of commands, right?
Right. Yeah. Drop your shoulders versus
Yeah,
what it feels like when you drop your shoulders.
exactly.
Yeah, it's a totally different, it brings a whole different vibe and flavor to the class for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. And in yoga nidra as well, it's all about supporting the listener with making choices and with noticing. So even when we say in the beginning to bring awareness to the breath and just follow the currents of your breath, they might notice their breath being shallow or their breath being fast or slow or deep, regular or irregular. And just by noticing that without being told to change anything, they'll automatically start to slow down their breathing and to have a more regular breathing pattern. So it's
right.
yeah, so it's cool how just handing we're just bringing awareness and then handing over the work to their system to do organically.
Yeah, that's way more empowering for them, right? Because
Exactly.
we all have that. We all have those natural, organic ways of occupying space in a wholesome way. But we just with life happening, we tend to not noticing that. So when you have someone, like you said, just not bringing awareness, that's what it is. It's bringing awareness. Oh, notice your breath, and people are like, oh, I'm actually breathing from the chest, and I'm not,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Or I'm actually breathing. I actually have a heart.
exactly.
I didn't know that. Yeah. It's so yeah, it's also so interesting because it really helps to build trust.
Mhm.
Traumatized system, it loses trust in the world and in itself. So this really also helps to build trust. Like I don't need my brain to be at the wheel and direct what to do all the time. I can trust that actually my body knows how to self-organize, it knows how to breathe, it knows how to relax. If we're just in the conditions of presence. So it also helps to build that really embodied, authentic kind of trust.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
I
beautiful. Yeah, that's it.
so let me just maybe we can start wrapping up for today and if you
Mm-hmm.
share about what your offerings are, where people can find you.
Sure. So I have a website, anastasiasomatics.com. I'm also present on Instagram. It's everything there on my website. Right now, I'm working on a retreat that I'm hosting end of January in person for nervous system regulation. And I'm also, I have an upcoming online coaching cohort, a space of co-regulation starting January 10th. Um, and it's going to be a small container, 12 people maximum. We will meet bi-weekly Saturdays. I believe it's 9:30 your time there. And it's going to be a space like we were just speaking about now. It's a space of, uh, co-regulation, sharing, and anyone is welcome that it's searching for connection and, community. Everything is on my website. And yeah, and I also have, I'm running this online somatic meditation and also a little bit of body work on Mondays, 7 p.m. Yeah, it's just a nice way to meet people from all over the world. So yeah,
Beautiful. Amazing. And where is your in-person retreat going to be?
it's going to be in the UAE, Al Quwain, in a place called Casa Mikoko.
Okay.
That information is actually on my Instagram. It's not on the website. But it's a beautiful place. It's just you can see the sea. I was going to say not the ocean. It's the sea there. But it's outdoors. It's going to be a full day from 10 until 6 with you know, somatic practices, slowing down. We can do a little bit of water sports as well because it's just at the beach. And yeah, it's a beautiful place to be. You can check all the information on my Instagram as well if you want to join, or there's my WhatsApp number there if you want to contact me directly. Feel free. Yeah.
Awesome. And we'll have all of that information in the show notes as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, okay. So as we wrap up for today, is there anything that you want to leave the listeners with, especially if you want to share anything to conclude that might feel helpful or supportive to people who are struggling with sleep, with anxiety, people who've been through a lot of stress or trauma in the past, number of
Mhm.
years?
Yeah, I want to say you're not alone. First of all, there's ways to seek support, and it's very important to seek support. And there's a lot of work right now. I'm really happy to see that in the world right now that offers that support. Community is very important. I really believe in community co-regulation because as human beings, all the pains we have, all the traumas, if we know we are not alone and if we seek for community, it's the first step for healing. And all these practices, yoga nidra is a beautiful practice, as all the body work practices. To find peace and to learn how to, in a daily basis, to come back to regulation. And I just want to say that regulation, it's not something we acquire. It's really a daily practice. It's I know there's with all the suffering some people have and chronic pains and things like that. It's a daily practice. It's a daily practice of you making the choice of being in relationship with yourself, learning to be in relationship with yourself. That's the medicine. That's the gold, right? And holding that space for yourself. And there's many people like you doing wonderful work and seeking for that support. It's really important.
Amazing, beautiful. Thank you so much, Anastasia. I really, really
You
enjoyed and appreciated our connection and our conversation today.
Thanks.
And yeah, you just bring such an amazing energy and such a great vibe. And I just really enjoyed learning from you and connecting with you. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this conversation between Anastasia Ribas and myself, please do check out the show notes for more information on Anastasia's retreat, as well as information on her other offerings. You may also join the Nale Yoga community on WhatsApp. And don't hesitate to leave feedback, whether online or offline. Share, like, subscribe, and send this to anyone who you feel might benefit from listening to this conversation. Wishing you all the best and be well for now. Until next time.